Welcome to Real Estate Powerhouse, live on Tap Talks with your host, Taliya Bashani, top real estate attorney and negotiation expert. This is your opportunity to get the inside scoop and hear straight from top real estate agents in the business. Broadcasting live from New York City, learn the secrets of their success and hear the most authentic, real, unfiltered stories about how they got to where they are today. From their wins to their failures to the biggest lessons of their careers and what keeps them rising to the top. And now, here is your host attorney, Taliya Bashani.
Hello, Sara. Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to the show, Real Estate Powerhouse, live on Tab Talks. Really great to have you in the studio today. And I would like for you to introduce yourself to all of our listeners and our viewers.
Thank you for having me, Taliya. I'm so excited about your podcast. I'm Sara Golan. I'm a real estate broker in Brooklyn and New York City. I work with Serhant, the company Serhant, and I've been in real estate sales for over 10 years. But in total, my total journey in real estate has spans over 25 years.
Wow.
So it's been a long time. Yes.
Wow, that's remarkable. Mm-hmm. And all in New York City this whole time for the 25-year period?
Long Island, Queens, Brooklyn, and Manhattan.
Fantastic.
The boroughs. Yeah.
Tell us how you got started in the real estate business.
Very early on, I was just 19 years old and I started working for a real estate investment firm in Queens, New York. And it's a mid-size company that basically built their own inventory and had a sales team. So I was part of office management, construction management, and that was really the background. I worked 2 years there and then moved on to the mortgage industry where I was on the closing side of that business for about 6 years.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you have the background of the banking business from the mortgage side as well as the sales side.
Yeah. So that I think that's why it was just a natural transition for me into real estate sales, because for all the years, real estate has been in the background, building properties, renovating properties, buying and selling, owning my own. And we've also owned our own real estate office. So being part of the ownership part of the business, the entrepreneurship part of the business, and then naturally like one day just maybe I can, do sales. And it's just something that it was more of a transition for me to try something new in that business.
Phenomenal. Yeah. And did you, when you started out in the business, did you start as a solo agent or did you join a team?
I was a solo agent in our company. Okay. It was a very small boutique firm in Bushwick, and I was one of 5 agents in that office. Probably the only female agent in that office was my husband, and his partners were the other brokers. And so for me, it was more like relying on their experience and kind of listening to the conversation that they're having with buyers. And we had that business for about 5 years before transitioning into the Serhant team at Nest Seekers. This all happened in 2016.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Fantastic. Okay. And when you guys joined Nest Seekers, did you join as a team or you stayed solo doing your own thing?
No, we joined as a team, and we were basically Ryan's Brooklyn team. He opened an office in Bed-Stuy, and my husband and I, we were the managing brokers for that office, building out a team specifically for the Brooklyn market.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's amazing. So for the new agents out there that are considering, getting into the real estate business, what would you say the pros and the cons are, being that you've been on both sides, as to being a solo agent versus joining a team?
I would say being a solo agent, it's kind of hard to grow your business that way. Again, when the market is moving so quickly and you don't have the background to support a marketing team, an admin team, being part of a real estate team, you have the support of a broker, of a sales manager, of agents to show for you when you're away. Otherwise, you're just stuck with just a few listings and you're doing a lower volume of business and you're running around doing everything. It's basically a one-man show.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I like the team environment very much.
Good advice. Okay. Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense because I think a lot of agents probably spread themselves too thin. They don't have a team to really rely on, and that support is so important, especially with sales and being a busy agent such as yourself, which is, great that you're getting a lot of clients and a lot of showings. That team environment definitely does help.
Yes.
Now, let's talk a little bit about who you focus on. Like, as far as your business, do you handle more buyers? Do you like working with buyers? Do you like having more exclusive listings and working with sellers? What's the balance of your business?
When I first started out, I worked primarily with buyers. So bulk of my business, I would say in the first 5 years of my career has been with buyers. And a lot of them were also referrals. So they'll refer their family, their friends. When we started at Nest Seekers with Ryan, the business transitioned more into representing sellers and developers. So I got to learn both ends of it. And I like working. For me, when sellers are building a property, I know how to advise them on what buyers are looking for because I hear what exactly in each area, what they're saying. If someone is looking to customize a property, we can bring in a buyer early on and help sellers that way. A lot of what we've sold has been for developers in Brooklyn.
Okay, fantastic. So you are focusing on new construction, new developments on the sponsor side, the developer side, more so than working with individual buyers at this point.
Correct. In the last 2 years, I've sold out more new development projects and townhouses than working with just buyers as I did before.
Okay, fantastic. And how did you break into that side? So for agents that are looking to work with more developers or maybe win more clients for new construction, what advice would you give? How did you break into the new development world?
I think that would be, it's because of experience. It's because of having a network of developers that we've worked with for a number of years. And they trust that experience and expertise in what they're building. And they come to us for advice early on. So I think it's kind of more repeat business. Once you've done a great job, you're selling for record-breaking numbers. There's a relationship that develops over the years. So when sellers are coming, they're coming because of the brand. They're coming because of the marketing they get with that brand. And more specifically, they're looking to work with brokers that are responsive, that are honest, hardworking, that shows up, and really truly put energy into selling out a project.
Excellent. Yes, I love that. And when you launch a new development, can you tell us a little bit about what goes into that process of launching a new development, what you do as far as the marketing, the advertising, getting buyer leads, things of that nature?
Well, early on, from the time we were able to start advertising, I would say even if a project is not completed, you could sell it with renderings. It's also doing a case study of the neighborhood to know what buyers are more attracted to that neighborhood, and also running ads, doing a nice campaign. A launch party always helps, inviting brokers to an early preview. There are lots of ways that we go about marketing a project.
Okay. And with the, I understand you have model units, and do you do any like pre-sale showings?
Yeah, we have model units that are built out and staged. So when buyers are coming in, they're seeing a finished product. And oftentimes we've sold units that are basically a complete package where they're just moving in, they're buying the furniture, and it's kind of like a win-win because, again, having staging furniture there that the buyer wants, it makes it more attractive, and we just package it all into the deal.
Okay. Oh, that's a sweet deal. It's fantastic. Yeah, because then it's just really turnkey, and they're ready to move in. Yeah, I love it. And the stager, I'm sure, loves that too, because now they just sold their staging furniture.
Yeah. Well, the stagers and the closet designers, they're all referral partners, and they are there for the clients and help them to customize their space.
Okay, fantastic. What would you recommend for agents looking into that want to break into the luxury market? I know it really takes a certain finesse and certain skill set to work with the high-end clients and really breaking into that luxury market. What advice would you give, and what do you think sets you apart to really succeed in that market?
I think to break into the luxury market, you have to have the skill set of that you are a professional agent. You have to have market experience. You have to have track record. You also have to have a network of people in not in every industry, because again, if you have friends that are in finance, or you have colleagues who are working in other industries, whether it's fashion, whether it's luxury hotels, and they have clients that are looking, they're going to want to think of a company and an agent who has that experience, or who works in a company that has that track record.
Yes, no, super important.
Yeah.
And how do you balance, your, give us your day to day, because I know you have a family and you're married and, you have so much going on. How do you really balance your time, your personal life, with business? Because as we know, real estate never stops in New York City. It could be a 24/7, type of business that can run you ragged. So how do you find, that balance in life?
For me, there is no balance. It's my work and my life. It's all intertwined. I have 2 teenagers. My son started senior year in high school. My daughter just started college. I'm less hands-on with them. It's more negotiating and more mental, if I would say, balancing everyone's schedules. But my kids are great. I think our life has been kind of business and travel and family all wrapped into one thing. But to keep a schedule, I would say get up early in the morning, have my routines already done before I start with my kids, and work. So preparing the night before helps a lot. And I've always been the one that if I get up early, I'm dressing completely for the day that takes me into evening, and while running around with my kids when they were younger, picking up from school, having dinners, and just meeting up with colleagues. So everything is wrapped into one, but it's on a calendar. I keep a calendar. Everything is on there, whether it's with the kids, family, work, clients, everything is on that calendar.
Okay, so it sounds like you're really good at time management and time blocking.
I think you have to be. You have to be. Yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, good. Now that's probably what keeps you, on course. Otherwise, it's easy to drown.
Yeah.
I can definitely relate to that. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about, what do you love most about being an agent, and what are your biggest challenges?
Biggest challenges, I would say, trying to fit too much into the schedule. For me also, that I would say that would be my first and foremost challenge. I'm not scared to do the work. I'm not scared to show up for work.
Okay.
Keeping a team together, that can be challenging at times, because again, every agent has a different personality. You want to make sure everyone is on common ground, everyone is doing what their part is, and keeping motivation for the team. That's super important.
Yeah. And what do you love most about your job?
Oh my goodness, there's never a dull moment. There's always excitement, and you never wake up doing the same thing. I mean, real estate, it's the same. Transacting is the same. But for me, I think the most exciting part, it's the connections I make and the people that I meet from every background, I can say. And a lot of them have become friends.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, so I feel like when you build your clientele, you also build your network. As you said, it's really about nurturing those relationships. And look, that's how you get repeat referrals and repeat business. They keep coming back to you. And I think when you build that type of rapport, it really, like you said, it lasts for a lifetime. It's not just a business transaction. And that's really important, especially when you're in this, it's a people business, not just selling real estate.
Right.
And Sara, as we know, technology has really been a game changer for a lot of agents in this business. Tell us some ways that technology and maybe digital media has really helped you build your business.
I would say for technology, I will say this, I don't spend on marketing and social media. Everything that you see that I put out there, it's kind of what I do on a daily basis. But it's amazing that to find connection on social media, on these platforms. I've sold properties by just posting on LinkedIn. I've sold investment properties that way. On Instagram, I have clients that have reached out, or agents who reach out from other states because they see what we're doing on a daily basis. And if they have a client in New York that's looking, or someone who's from out of state relocating, they're reaching out to us on Instagram, on these platforms.
Wow. So you think so a lot of your leads, instead of you going out looking for them, they're pretty much finding you because of your online presence.
Exactly. Yes.
And so your marketing budget, you're not even really utilizing your marketing budget. It's all organic.
Most of my leads are organic, and they come online, or if it's something that if there's a listing that we're advertising on StreetEasy or in Purchewell or any other platform, that's a great way to also generate leads. But a lot of it is referrals or from these platforms.
Okay, amazing, excellent.
Yeah.
Now let's talk a little bit about your passions. We know what makes you a phenomenal real estate agent and the great experience. Do you have any other passions outside of the business that really keeps you going, or a certain routine that, some people are like, I get up at 6 a.m., I do yoga, I meditate, I stick to this routine. It really keeps me on my hustle. Tell us a little bit about your passions or side projects or routines that keep you going.
I invest in other businesses. That's a passion. I
Okay.
like to cook. I like to dance and travel. But morning routines are super important. Coffee is very important. That's my main thing.
Yes.
But I would say for me, waking up in the morning, praying, meditating, setting my intentions for the day, that helps me a lot, because again, it clears all the clutter in my mind, and I want to start each day fresh and clean and not having to deal with what happened yesterday. So if you bring in, like, let's say the challenges or issues from yesterday into today, it kind of like clogs your memory, and then it gives you like the brain fog the next day. So I like to clear everything out, kind of like a filing system, and then just start my day new onto like new business.
So it's so true. I feel like, and I love what you said about, you leave in the past, what happened in the past. Every day is kind of like a restart.
Yes.
And, clean slate, so that you don't hang on to that baggage. Even if it was a bad day or you dealt with a crazy client or whatever it is, you just start over fresh, and you don't take that negative energy with you into the next day.
And a lot of it, we have to remember that when clients are frustrated, it's not towards us personally, and you have to kind of check your ego with that, because really the job is to be there with a clear head for your clients and listen. And sometimes they're having a bad day, so you really can't take anything personal.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only business. It's never personal.
Yeah.
I love that. Sara, tell us a little bit about where you see yourself, maybe in the next 5 or 10 years. What does the future look like for you from a business perspective, from a real estate perspective? If you could share that with us.
I would say I want to move into developing my own projects and buying and renovating and reselling my own projects. That's been a dream. And also, I would say continue to grow my team. And I mean, I'm 10 years into sales, and when a new agent comes on, I want to teach them. I want to really nurture and mentor. So that I see that more in the future for me. I don't think I'm ever going to take myself completely out of transacting, but I would say more teaching, growing, building my own projects.
Fantastic. And so are you doing investments now already? Are you already investing in properties and like fix and flips or
Fix and flips we've
Okay.
done for that's been a huge part of our business in the past.
Uh-huh.
We also have properties that we've held on to for rental income. So I want to also look for more of those deals where it can be a long-term hold for rental properties and continue to build out that portfolio.
Okay.
So adding more, if we can add 2 to 3 buildings a year, again, like that's something leaving for my kids in the future for passive income for them so that they can start their lives as they grow.
I love it. Fantastic. Yeah, that generational wealth and really, paving the path for your family and generations to come is so important, especially with your expertise. You can really, keep that tradition going, for long term.
Yeah.
Well, we are going to take a quick break for a commercial break, and then we're going to come back with part 2 of the show with Sara Golan from the Serhant team. We'll be right back, you guys. Whether you are a new buyer or a seasoned investor in the real estate market, you need top legal representation and expertise to ensure your transactions close smoothly and successfully. As someone whose priorities are communication, attention to detail, efficiency, and creative negotiation, TAB Law Firm provides hands-on, personalized service that focuses on clients' needs and peace of mind. After working with big corporate law firms, I realized their focus was on volume rather than nurturing and protecting their clients. I then decided to start my own firm 15 years ago to provide exceptional, personalized service that protects and informs my clients every step of the way. Most of my clients are looking for guidance, transparency, and clear communication throughout their real estate transaction. Making myself available to my clients is one of my top priorities, and my expertise allows me to foresee issues before they happen and avoid potential downfalls. This proactive approach safeguards my clients from incurring any additional expenses, delays, or stress. During the selling or buying process, efficiency is key. I keep all parties informed and organized, ensuring we close smoothly. I fancy myself as a deal maker, not a deal breaker. If you are looking to buy or sell real estate, or if you are a real estate broker looking for an attorney who's going to be communicative, efficient, and responsive to you and your clients, then contact me at Tali360.com. And let's start working together. Close with TAB and feel fab. Welcome back, everyone, to part 2 of the show, Real Estate Powerhouse. Today, we have Sara Golan with the Serhant team with us. Sara, thank you so much again for being a part of the show. And I would like to get started with talking about some of your biggest wins. In this business, there have been ups and downs. We have seen the market, especially you, I'm sure, over the last 25 years. Me, it's been 15 years, but we've definitely seen highs and lows in this market. I want to hear from you some of the, biggest wins that really, truly made you feel like, okay, I am so happy. I worked so hard. I've accomplished, this goal, or I nailed this building, something that really is a benchmark for you.
Benchmark for me would be the Etage building on the Upper East Side, 176 East 82nd Street. That project basically came together in a matter of 1 week. I met the developer and I came to Ryan and I said, hey, we're pitching a building. We have 2 days to put together a team and we have to launch this building like in literally a week or 2 week tops. And we did it. And this was at the very end of 2019. And guess what? COVID happened. Oh. And here we have 9 units floored through huge condos on the Upper East Side, and everything is shutting down. Oh. And the biggest, I still recall, like we're still showing this building virtually, like on FaceTime with buyers, and we sold that building out during COVID. Oh, and that was a $40 million sellout. It was the biggest project that I worked on. And I'm a Brooklyn agent, and to sell on the Upper East Side that was an accomplishment with the team, best team ever that we had on that project. So I'm super proud of that one.
Wow, that's huge. Yeah. Congratulations. And during COVID, no less. I mean, that's like a big challenge when nobody can step foot into the actual unit and you're doing these virtual tours.
Yeah, walkthroughs, appraisals, like that was, who knew? But we got it done. Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. Congrats. And how many units were in that building that you had to sell out?
That was 9 units.
9 units, 40 million. Amazing. Yeah. Congrats on that.
Thank you.
So what do you utilize, in today's day to really increase your sales going after developers? What do you think is, the tricks to the trade, so to speak, for a lot of people who maybe are going after developers and not quite winning the deal or winning the listing? What would you recommend? What do you think, how did that meeting go for you to pull it off as well as you did and actually seal the deal? Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about, your tactics.
I don't overpromise. Okay. I'm very realistic with numbers.
Okay.
And I don't go in to pitch just to say what they want to hear to get the listing. Okay. I'd rather not take on something that's overpriced. Let the other brokers who try, and I always say to them, I'm very upfront, very blunt, and I'll say to them, give another broker a shot. If they sell it, God bless them. If not, let's have a real conversation. I think when you're pitching developers as well, your track record is online. Like everything that you do, it's there. They've already Googled and they've looked up your profile. What are you going to do differently for them? And a lot of the times, stop talking about yourself in that conversation, stick to what the project is about, and connect with the person in front of you. So you want to listen to every information. If they're going to talk about this project for an entire hour, let them speak about it. This is their baby. This is their passion. This is what they're bringing to the table. And I would say when pitching, also show the value of team, and that you're not just an agent just within a company. Show what your marketing team looks like, what your advertising, like what the marketing strategies are, like really show your expertise in that neighborhood and why you're the right fit for the project.
Fantastic. No, great advice. Wonderful advice. And when you're dealing with, let's say, buyer's agents, so let's say you have a new development, you have an exclusive listing, and we're dealing with buyer's agents who are coming in, maybe lowballing or, asking for everything under the sun, all these concessions. What are the creative negotiation tools that you really implement into your business? Because you have all these units to sell, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you negotiate with buyer's agents to really come to a happy medium, but still get the sale done?
I often tell them, listen, you don't want to screw up the comps for the building. If you're coming in, come in. If you want everything on your list, come in closer to asking. And then we can build in what the concessions are. So if there's an outdoor cabana, if there's a parking spot, if there's like a bigger unit that they want, but just don't come in with a low ball offer and then expect the world. If you're asking for transfer taxes, sometimes, last year we were splitting transfer. This year we're covering transfer taxes. We're covering common charges. We're trying to bridge that gap because interest rates went up. We're still trying to keep payments at, let's say, what rates were 6 months ago for these buyers. Because eventually, yes, they're getting a great deal. 2 years from now, once rates adjust for inflation, they're going to refinance. Yeah. So you just want to kind of educate buyers, brokers, so they're having those conversations with the buyers and just keeping everyone happy. There's a happy medium when you're negotiating. You don't want to exhaust the buyer or the sponsor. Yeah.
Right, exactly. So it's a matter of keeping both sides happy and making sure that it's reasonable, right? That the requests and the demands are all reasonable, so that it's not outlandish and because at the end of the day, everybody wants to make a deal happen.
Yeah. Everyone wants to win.
Yes, everybody wants to win. Very true. And have you been a part of these bidding wars? I know, recently I've been dealing with clients and probably the sweet spot, or at least more so of the contracts that I've been getting, is probably somewhere in the $1 to $4 million range. I feel like that's really where the inventory is,
moving. Yeah. That's
right.
Where it's moving. That part of the market, I would say between $1 million to the 3 million range.
Yes.
Inventory is moving. Yes.
Exactly. And so, I had 3 clients this week that were, that called me and said, look, I'm putting in final and best. Hopefully I'll win. The deal sheet will go out tomorrow. Just want to make sure you're on board and we're ready to move forward. And I said, yeah, good luck. Keep me posted. I'll look out for the deal sheet. We'll get started. And then all 3 clients got outbid, all 3 of them.
Oh, no.
Yes. And it was just, it's mortifying because here, these buyers are really trying to go after inventory that's so low. There's multiple buyers that are, going after the same inventory. And, these bidding wars are just starting to, explode. How do you handle, have you been on that side for a buyer? And how do you handle those bidding wars for your clients?
Okay. So what I do as a broker, first of all, I want to know who's on the sell side, and if there's a relationship with our companies, and if we've done any past transaction. It's not to have favoritism for a deal. It's mainly having that conversation with the broker to get proper guidance when you're presenting your best and final. You want to gauge that right spot where you're in line with comps. You're going to be paying a little above what the comps are, and you want to also still have your buyers feel like they got a good deal and they beat out everyone. I've actually had that happen recently, and there were 5 other offers, and we won the bid. And it's also because we moved very quickly in a sense. Like, if you're going to best and final, have your attorney lined up, have your lender, everything ready to go. It doesn't matter, like, if you are not putting the highest down payment or you're not all cash. Again, it's like how qualified the buyer is, how experienced the brokers are, and how they can make that happen. Because again, like, sometimes seller, and I've been part of the sell side when we have to choose best and final, and sometimes it's not the highest number that wins the deal. It's they look at the entire picture of, maybe a buyer might come in at a higher price point, but they want to close 6 months from now. That may not be ideal for the seller. So it's just like this little dance that you do for the deal between yourself and the seller's agent. But keeping everyone informed and just do your research, show the comps on both sides, and then come to a reasonable number.
Super
and
smart.
Move fast. Just move fast. Like, really.
Okay. Speed is everything. Yes,
speed is everything.
And I like what you said, that you research everything in advance so that you can go in with the strongest package, where it's almost like they can't deny you, and you don't necessarily have to be the highest to be the best. If you're a strong candidate and your package is seamless, and especially the way that you present it.
Also, waiving contingencies helps.
Okay.
But at the same time, make sure your buyers know the risk. If they're waiving, let's say, an appraisal contingency or a mortgage contingency, let them be aware of all the risk involved.
Yes, definitely. I've had clients that have come in above ask, and then they're saying, well, what if the property doesn't appraise? And I say, well, look, you're already coming in. If you're going to come in 50 grand above ask or 40 grand above ask to win the deal, then you're pretty much assuming, that additional premium, because that's why the seller's taking your offer, or one of the factors. So you're going to have to waive the appraisal contingency, and just, trust the comps and know the market, because you're paying that additional premium. So you can't come back and renegotiate and say, oh, sorry, the appraisal is low, forget the premium that I offered you to pay.
Yeah.
So,
but the biggest win is actually when it appraises
Yes.
for the purchase price, and you're like, phew, we did
Yes.
it. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a
Exactly.
relief. It's
It
such a relief
is.
when
It
that
is.
happens.
And then
Yeah.
everybody's happy. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
I love it. No, that's in today's market, those challenges definitely present themselves, and especially, in that sweet spot, like we discussed, until more inventory really, comes to market. So the $1 million question, which I'm sure a lot of people ask you, is, where do you see the market going? Where, New York is definitely a unique breed. It's different than Miami. It's different than, other parts of the country. But what do you think, what direction do you think the market is going in, and what can we expect, as far as that shift that everybody is pretty much waiting for?
I think if you have to buy, you're going to buy. You're just going to have to suck it up that these are the prices, these are the rates, and you just have to look forward to, down the line, you're going to refinance. I see buyers, first-time buyers, it's hurting them a lot because, again, they saved up a certain amount of money, and now all of a sudden they can't really qualify, or the payment is too high. A lot of buyers are trying to lock rates early on, and then the rates change, and then they're in a different situation. But I do see that inventory still remains low, and that sellers are still in a really good position, and buyers are just moving forward. I don't see much changing in the sense that prices are going to start dropping drastically. We don't see that happening anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly. And, a lot of the sellers that I talk to, they pretty much say, well, look, why would I sell now? Because anything that I buy, I'm going to have to downsize. And these interest rates pay the exact same price that I'm paying for my larger space that I'm living in. So they're truly motivated to sell unless they have to relocate for a reason, or something's happening in their life where, they must sell. So we're kind of at an impasse, but I agree with you, if it's, until more inventory comes to the market, the market is pretty much, the activity, I don't know if you've seen a slowdown. I haven't really seen a slowdown. The activity is still there. There's still a lot of buyers. It's just not a lot to buy.
Yeah. I think in August we saw kind of like the end of August, and that's always in the summertime. Buyers are out of the country, they're traveling, they're enjoying their vacations. With sellers, to your point, if a seller doesn't have to move and they can't find something that either they're downgrading or upgrading, might as well stay in the property, improve it, do some minor renovations to just improve the value, so that when they want to sell next year, they're in a better position. And for developers, it's like, okay, they spend so much money on a project, and to not have the return, like, why not just maybe hold on to a few units, rent them out, and then sell them next year?
Yeah, exactly. Smart. I've been also a big advocate of lease with the option to buy. Because I think that way developers can at least cover their overhead and their carrying costs, with the rental income. And if the tenant is not ready now to buy, maybe in 6 months or a year, they pay for that option. And then they can exercise their option. And there's a little bit of incentive on the back end. Like, hey, if you close on this unit, I'll give you, a closing cost credit, or I'll contribute 3% or whatever it may be to get them to buy. But that way, at least, developers aren't sitting with vacant properties and just bleeding money. So I do like structuring deals like that, because I think it's a win-win for both sides.
I agree. That's a real concern, to have properties your developers are carrying like really high payments every month, and to not have that, not have any income on that. That's a great option for buyers. I also feel that when you're living in a space, it's already your home. Why would you want to move? You've done so much to it already. Like,
so true.
Just buy the apartment, live there.
Exactly. And then there's that emotional attachment. They're already attached. Moving sucks. Nobody wants to have to pack and unpack and relocate. And then that personal emotional attachment really is a huge motivating factor for them and wanting to exercise their option to buy. And then they become a homeowner, and then, they're putting equity back into their own investment as opposed to, the developer or the seller.
Yeah.
So Sara, I know your territory originally was mainly Brooklyn. Are you still focused on the Brooklyn market, or are you also doing Manhattan? And what type of balance do you have there with the territories?
I'm still focused on Brooklyn. I'm still in North Brooklyn, in Bed-Stuy and Bushwick and all those neighborhoods. Okay. I'm still there. Yes.
All right. Fantastic. And you live there too, right? So it's like that.
I live in the 5 towns. I'm in Long Island. Yes.
Okay. So a little small commute for you, but it sounds like it's, it like the back of your hand because you've been covering Brooklyn for so long. So
for a long time. You're
a true asset to a lot of buyers and a lot of sellers because you really know the territory, the neighborhoods, probably, the restaurants and the school district and everything. So you're a huge asset and resource to a lot of clients looking in Brooklyn. So that's fantastic. So I want to ask you a question relative to if you were to write your own autobiography, a story about your life, what would be the title of your book?
Oh, that's an interesting question. It would probably be so much to do, so little time.
Okay. I love it. That's a good one.
Yeah.
And then you can teach people time management that you
there you go. Yeah.
Yes. I love it. Excellent. Well, Sara, it was so great having you on the show today. Thank you for all of the amazing feedback and advice. If any of our listeners or viewers wanted to reach out to you or contact you, what's the best way for them to get in touch?
It's Sara Golan BK on Instagram. And if you need to email me, it's sarah.golan@serhant.com. And that's Sarah without an H, by the way, SARA.GOLAN@serhant.com.
Fantastic. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you soon.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Taliya.
My pleasure. And stay on for the outro. So don't go anywhere.
You've been tuning into Real Estate Powerhouse live on Tab Talks with your host attorney, Taliya Bashani. For more information, please visit Tali360.com. You can watch this show streaming live on StreamYard and available across all social media outlets, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Instagram, Facebook Live, and more. Stay tuned for next week's episode. Thank you for your positive feedback, comments, and questions, and please share this show with your network.